you just get so worked up, and if you've got a phobia of anything, the feeling and you can't breathe, you feel sick. I can't count the amount of times I've cried my eyes out at someone's party or a social event. I remember from a young age, I mean, when I was younger I didn't understand it so much, I just felt different and weird, and there would just be nothing I'd eat at a party. I remember crying my eyes out, my parents had to pick me up from, I think I was about 5 or something, and that sort of stayed with me. I'd eat the same thing day in, day out. It was basically a diet of pretty much like chips and bread and not much else. The way that made me feel, I just didn't want to eat at all, really, and I knew that was much more unhealthy than eating unhealthy food. I just became ever more conscious of what I was eating, and I knew it wasn't good for me, and I just felt stupid for eating the same thing day and day. I just felt like a freak, and I was like, I want to get better. I've been to my GP, basically just ridiculed me and said that, okay, I can refer you to the place that deals with mental health in my area. And that was just a talking therapy, and it was just talking about things that I didn't want to talk about, I just wanted to do, like I wanted to make an action as opposed to talking about it. I'd been to see a dietitian a few years before that actually, and they were the people that said, well, you have selective eating disorder, you'll grow out of it. And that's all I was ever told. It was, you know, it was just a childhood thing, children are fussy, you'll grow out of it. But I knew it was much more than that, but no one could ever seem to understand it was much more of a psychological, like cognitive thing than just being fussy and being an awkward person, really. At one point in my life I did used to live off Yorkshire puddings. That would be my evening meal, would be a plate of Yorkshire puddings, which after a while you do get sick of. I never imagined that it was possible. I thought maybe I'd get a little bit better, try the odd few things, but being able to try anything you want to was just, you know, impossible really. It was comforting in a way because he'd dealt with that before, as opposed to going to just any old hypnotherapist, because then he's got an understanding of it, which is something that's very important to me, because the amount of people I've spoken to over the years have no idea what I'm talking about. I honestly didn't believe it would work. I felt I was doing it wrong. They've got a small plate of some rather unappealing foods, but he left the room and I picked up some ham, and pretty much any sort of meat, like, has always been horrendous. It'd be straight in my mouth and I wouldn't even be able to chew it. I'd retch and I can't do that. But I tried it, I was chewing it. Something missing here. Oh yeah, not retch. It was such an odd feeling, and then I thought, you know what, be adventurous, go for the olive, and it was fine. It was just so, what has just happened, honestly felt like a dream. I went to a buffet style restaurant with my mum a few days later and tried all sorts of things. Chicken has always been something that scared the life out of me, like a retch every time I've tried it. Tried 3 different types there, and I was fine. Whoa, what is this? I've even tried fajitas that I made at home with my mum. I absolutely loved them, and for me to be able to even tolerate a food is a massive thing, but to love it is just so overwhelming. I was sat there, I'm like, Mum, I love this. First of all, I've never had so many people want to take me out for a meal. But I just feel a lot more confident, and I can try things off people's plates. Ooh, wow, okay. I feel a lot more confident about going off to university, because beforehand I felt like if no one would tell me to eat, I just simply wouldn't. It's going to open up so many more opportunities for me, and I'm just really excited for the future now because of therapy with David. Well, Hannah is the reason why I came to David, and I personally thanked her for sharing her story, because she's through her sharing her success, that has changed my life.
When we heard about David, I didn't think it was possible, but I came here with Jodie and I stood outside and watched my daughter put meat to her mouth. She's never done that before. And then when she swallowed it, I just couldn't stop crying. And the olive, no chance. But it's changed her life and ours.
I mean, I've always said if I ever got any better, I'd love to raise awareness, help others. I'd definitely recommend David, because it's, for once it felt like talking to a human, and it takes a lot of work afterwards and you've really got to want it, but it just takes away that initial anxiety and sets you off for, you know, got amazing opportunities ahead of you. So definitely.
And I love David for what he's done. I'm proud.
Honestly feels like a miracle.